But the earnings so far have been good. It's been a comprehensive beat on all the IT earnings so far. If the Tata Steel long product earnings are anything to go by, we are in for a commodity super cycle. And even the pre-quarterly updates from FMCG earnings suggest that it's going to be a good quarter. But how do we marry all this data and the strong commentary with markets which are at all-time highs? Aditya Narain, the head of research at institutional equities at Edelweiss Securities, is here with us on the show now. Aditya, morning, and thanks so much for speaking with us, and Happy New Year to you. Your thoughts on the markets? How comfortable are you with valuations much higher than historical levels, and have the markets priced in a very strong earnings performance, not just this quarter but going up to FY22 already?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show, and a very happy New Year to you and your listeners too. I think the disconnect that you're actually having at this point in time between a very well valued market, an earnings spectrum that is looking actually much better than it has for many years, and a real economy that is still struggling a little bit. In my view, I think this is something that you spend the next year kind of reconciling with, right? So you cannot have these sustained disconnects for an extended period of time. You either need a situation where the market comes off dramatically, or the economy does much better than what people are expecting at this point in time. And quite honestly, my view is that it'll probably settle down somewhere in the middle, which is that the markets will potentially come off a little bit. The economy will probably get a little bit of a kick up from where you are at this point in time. And earnings will provide you a good, comfortable backdrop to be generally comfortable on the markets from a more medium-term perspective.
Aditya, good morning, Prashant here. Is a lot of what we are seeing in terms of commentary, and most of it is bullish. I mean, when we look at this year ahead, start of the year commentary, most times it is bullish, right? But this time specifically so because it's been so strong, and there are money is aplenty. Stimulus seems to be non-stop coming. Fed is assured that they're not going to mess with rates, or they're not going to taper anytime soon. There doesn't seem to be any worries on the horizon, and people are paying lesser and lesser attention to what the economy itself is doing. Is this a case of sort of, the fear of missing out? So you don't want to sound negative because there is too much liquidity all around. You don't want to take that call, basically. Not you, but I'm just saying that most of the commentary that we see in here. Yeah.
No, I think that's a very fair point. There is clearly a fair amount of FOMO that is going on. Markets have continued to go up. This whole bit about markets being overvalued is something you heard about 15 to 20% lower. So I think that is clearly one element of it. I think the other thing, which is probably a little bit more encouraging and which is providing some of the confidence in commentary, is the fact that I think at a broad level, there have been a lot of big resets that have happened with the economy. And I think the pandemic has kind of precipitated those. So, whether it is the leverage with corporate businesses, whether it is effectively earnings tending to come back, whether it is cost efficiencies that businesses have built up, I think the last 6 to 12 months have really come to a head where you were getting to a stage where you were at the final stages of that cleanup happening. But the pandemic has kind of accelerated that. Now, given that context, and you could actually argue that you could call this a little bit of a relatively large reset. Given that has happened, given that earnings are clearly looking good, for now, but we would tend to believe for a more extended period of time, I think you have a backdrop to be much more optimistic, given where you are. That said, I think the fact that there is a certain amount of FOMO, that a lot of this is driven by the fact that markets are doing very well, that there is liquidity, does suggest that, yes, there is a tendency to overlook what could be some of the risks. The reality also is, the economy will only get back to its levels next year relative to where it was in FY20. So bottom line is, there is an element of FOMO. There is a bias towards strong markets driving the view both on businesses, on equities, and on the economy. And I think in our view, as I said, I think there is going to be a little bit of a reconciliation of that during the course of the year, when the markets will probably lose a little bit of steam. And if a lot of the bullishness that is coming out of businesses is to play out, then the economy will end up doing a little better than what has been anticipated so far.
You've gone overweight on financials. What is it predicated on? Because the RBI's financial stability report, which came out just 2 days ago, is cautioning. And it's quite worried about the possible rise in NPAs. They're talking about NPAs at 13.5% in the next 12 months. So what has gone into your upgrade of financials?
See, from our side, I think three elements have gone into this, right? One is that while the RBI is clearly very cautious on this, I think what's happened over the last 6 months is that while there has been a lot of pain, I think businesses have cleaned out very, very aggressively. And to that extent, fundamentally, our view is that you're not going to see the kind of pain that the RBI is kind of expecting for the reasons of a lot of this action that has tended to happen. I think the second element is that the reality is that there is a lot of liquidity that has been put into the system. It is beginning to seep down to businesses and to banks. And I think that is providing a measure of support in terms of the asset quality issues. And I think the third element is, which is crucial for the banks to do materially well and do well for themselves, is that I would tend to believe a little bit more demand is beginning to come through. You're seeing it in the consumer demand numbers. I think you will start seeing it in terms of corporate and investment-led demand. And the moment you start seeing a little bit of a turnaround in terms of demand for money or loan growth come through, I think that should be a big kicker as far as these stocks are concerned. Because what it will tell you is that you're commencing on the next economic cycle, right? Now, whether it comes over the next week, 3 months, or 6 months is always a little hard to call. But we would tend to believe it's going to start coming over a 3 to 6 month period. And this is the time to start positioning for that much, much more aggressively. There is caution out there. I think all of us have to be careful about the fact that liquidity can be temporary, markets can be misleading. But I do tend to believe that you've had an asset cycle for an extended period of time. And what the pandemic has done is, as I talked about the reset, I think it has precipitated a kind of a cleaning up, which was not what people thought of at the beginning of this pandemic.
Aditya, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much for speaking with us here at CNBC TV 18. Thank you for joining us. We'll speak with you soon again. So, beg your pardon, that's Outlook 2021 is from Aditya Narain at Edelweiss. Bullish. And he's listing out the themes that he'd be wanting to bet on. We will take a very quick